Hi, everybody. It's Ken Iverson again in Kent, Washington, USA. It's Thursday afternoon, the 9th of September. I'm recording just as the Reverend or the Pastor Terry Jones has announced that he is not going to burn the Korans on Saturday, as announced he would do, and he's going to fly instead to New York and talk to the Imam. The Imam apparently has agreed to move the mosque, at least this is according to Jones, to another site away from Ground Zero. So that's where it stands right now. This is as of 2:10 Pacific Daylight Time. That would be in the east. That would be what 5:10 Eastern Daylight Time. So this is the latest we have on the mosque, and it sounds like in fact, the guy right now. I'm going to turn around and look at my television. This is who is this? Well, anyway, he's saying that Chris Matthews is saying that it sounds like the intent of Jones was to bribe the imam into moving the mosque. That's what it sounds like to me too. Now that you mention it, anyway, I don't want to discuss that. I don't want to give this guy any more airtime than he deserves. He doesn't deserve half or a third or a tenth or a hundredth or a thousandth of the time he's gotten the last 4 or 5 days. This Jones character. So let me say some things about where we go from here with regard to the burning of the Korans. I have heard some people say that he could be prosecuted on the basis of it being a hate crime, what he's doing. I don't know if that's the case or not. I don't know. He's got the right to free speech, as does the other people involved in this. Petraeus has the right to free speech. President Obama has the right to free speech. Bob Gates has the right to free speech. Hillary Clinton has the right to free speech. And they've all spoken out today on the burning of the Korans. I want to take it from a little different point of view, and that is the metaphor is often used about shouting fire in a crowded theater, and Petraeus has gotten at this in saying that by threatening to burn the Korans on Saturday, Jones is tantamount to yelling fire in a crowded theater, and that is proscribed by law. And I'd like to talk a little bit about that. So here we go. We got tons of time. So here we are. It says shouting fire in a crowded theater is a popular. This is from Wikipedia. Shouting fire in a crowded theater is a popular metaphor and frequent misquoting of Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr.'s opinion in the United States Supreme Court case Schenck versus United States in 1919. The misquote fails to mention falsely admitting shouting fire to highlight that speech, which is merely dangerous and false, which can be distinguished from truthful but also dangerous. The quote is used as an example of speech which serves no conceivable useful purpose and is extremely and eminently dangerous, so that resort to the courts or administrative procedures is not practical and expresses the permissible limitations on free speech consistent with the terms of the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. The First Amendment was later addressed. Well, first of all, as quoted by Oliver Wendell Holmes here, this was intended to rule that it was illegal to distribute flyers opposing the draft during World War I. That's where this shouting fire in a crowded theater quote comes from, and that was by Oliver Wendell Holmes. The First Amendment holding in Schenck was later overturned by Brandenburg versus Ohio, which limited the scope of banned speech to that which could be directed to and likely to incite imminent lawless action, e.g., a riot. The test in Brandenburg is the current High Court jurisprudence on the ability of government to prescribe speech after that fact. Despite Shank being limited, the phrase shouting fire in a crowded theater has since come to be known as synonymous with an action that the speaker believes goes beyond the rights guaranteed by free speech, reckless or malicious speech, or an action whose outcomes are blatantly obvious. Okay, now, is what Jones is doing down in Florida, down in Gainesville, is that tantamount to yelling fire in a crowded theater? And if so, can he be prosecuted? There are, Petraeus says, and I believe this is right. In fact, it's probably going on right now. It may have gone on. I haven't seen the news reports. There may be American servicemen who are being killed right now because of what Jones said. And certainly they have been rioting all over the world. And he hasn't even gotten to the point of burning them yet. He's talking about doing it. And now he's backed off. He's blackmailed the imam, apparently, in New York City. And I would, if I were the imam, I would not talk to this joker. But apparently, according to what Jones just said in his press conference outside of the Dove World, whatever the name of the church is in Gainesville, he will be talking to the imam. He'll be flying up on Saturday, and instead of burning the Korans, he'll be talking to a Muslim leader. I hope he doesn't. I hope he isn't infected by the Muslim leader. If you don't get the sarcasm there, well, then I don't know what to say. So anyway, I think the guy can be prosecuted because he's inciting to riot, and that may not be his intent, but certainly that's the effect of what he's done in Gainesville. Now, let me say something else. I got lots of things to say here, but let me say Gainesville is the home of the Florida Gators, the football team. They're a very good football team. Steve Spurrier now was the coach in Washington, D.C., the professional coach in Washington, D.C. after he left Gainesville. He didn't make it there, but he was. This Gainesville has a very good football team year in and year out. I believe that the former coach of Utah, what's his name? I can't recall right now. Urban is the coach, or was the coach. He almost resigned, or he did resign. I'm not sure. After last season, he made a false start, and anyway. So he what's his name? Urban. Anyway, and the star player who won the Heisman Trophy here a couple of years ago was a guy named Tim Tebow, who was a Christian. And I would love to have someone from CNN or MSNBC or ABC or whatever interview Tim Tebow and see what he thinks of Terry Jones, because they're in the same town. Tim Tebow spent 4 or 5 years of his life in Gainesville, and he was a missionary to in the Philippines, I believe, at one time. So I would like to see somebody interview who's down there. I would interview him right now, but I'm in Kent, Washington, and I have no way of contacting Tim Tebow. Let's see what Tim Tebow has to say about Terry Jones, the pastor, the so-called pastor, and I think that James Zogby, who is president of the Arab American Institute, said it best this morning on MSNBC. He said that Jones appears to be the class clown. That's the way he referred to him. And he's out to get attention, and he'll get it any way that he can. Also, the State Department's issued a travel warning. And this is serious stuff. And I suggest that Jones could be prosecuted on the not shouting fire in a crowded theater. I think he could be prosecuted on that basis, because certainly he's endangered the lives of many, not only servicemen, but Americans around the world. I would not be a bit surprised to see in the next couple of days that Americans are killed someplace by good Muslim people who would not ordinarily, unless provoked, engage in that kind of behavior. So the effect, according to Jeff Morrell of the Pentagon this morning, a Pentagon spokesman said that this will have a ripple effect, and there's no doubt it's already had a ripple effect. And as far as not burning the Korans on Saturday, on the anniversary of 9/11, the damage has already been done. I mean, this was done 4 or 5 days ago when this guy offered up the suggestion that he would burn the Korans. The damage has been done. Muslims know what's going on in this country. And then today, Craig Lowe, the mayor of Gainesville, said that he's an embarrassment, that Jones is an embarrassment, and that he does not represent the America, and he certainly doesn't represent Gainesville. Well, he's an American. I believe that Jones is an American citizen. I think you'd have to look on his passport or look on his papers. He probably is an American citizen. So he qualifies as an American, and you say this is not representative. This is representative of those people who are opposed to the Ground Zero Mosque. He is just an extreme example of the people who I believe are misguided in opposing the mosque at Ground Zero. As I said before, I would not build the mosque at Ground Zero because some Yehoo, in the name of God and country and America, is sure as heck, as I'm sitting here, he is going to bomb that mosque or somehow desecrate the mosque. So I would save the money. But they have every constitutional right, and they have every legal right to build it there. And there's no doubt about that. In fact, as I said before, and I'll say it again, that right is guaranteed in the First Amendment to the Constitution, the so-called freedom of religion. And also it's guaranteed, freedom of speech is guaranteed. Everybody has the freedom of speech in this incident, except, I believe, Terry Jones. He cannot yell fire in a crowded theater because it presents a clear and present danger to the American troops. This is what Petraeus is saying. This is what Bob Gates is saying. This is what President Obama is saying. This is what Hillary Clinton is saying. It's a clear and present danger to our troops. So anyway, think about this, Reverend Jones. You're in the big leagues now, so you really have blown it. This morning, I mentioned James Zogby, who is the president of the Arab American Institute. This was on MSNBC. I'm not saying anything. If you were watching MSNBC this morning, you know all of the things I'm saying, except about the fire in the crowded theater. I think I've maybe shed a little bit of light on that. I haven't heard many people talk about it. There was one attorney who talked about that as being a grounds for, I believe, prosecution, and I see it that way too. So. President Obama said that this burning of the Quran, this proposed burning of the Quran, is a recruitment bonanza for Al Qaeda. And I say to you, President Obama, amen. This will bring young men, young Muslim men, some of which I may even be talking to on Facebook right now. Some of it's going to convert some of them. I hope not many of them, because they're my friends, and I'm an American first and foremost. And I would be disheartened if they were to join Al Qaeda because of this Yehoo. I'll call him what he is, a Yehoo in Florida. We got about 30 seconds to go in this 15-minute segment. I said most of the things that I want to say. Imam Mohammed Musri is called for today for tolerance. He's proud to be an American. He's I don't think his first language is English, but he's proud to be an American. He's an Imam Mohammed Musri, and he's in Gainesville. So how are we doing on time? We're almost out of time. This is Ken Iverson in Kent, Washington, near Seattle, signing off for now. We'll go to the next segment. Bye-bye.